Roosevelt Island, which is one of the nature areas that we have in the game, has been completely transformed as well. Because it's isolated, it was perfect for a quarantine. What happened there? You'll have to discover it when the game comes out.
Welcome, agents. As you saw in the beginning, Julian Garrity talked about locations and landmarks within the Division 2 where you'll be able to go and explore, and it's likely there will be missions and side missions to complete as well. What excited me most about this was the possibility that if survival returns, which I'm sure it will, just reimagined, this could be on Roosevelt Island. Now I have a strong suspicion this would be the case, and I think that it will be a great location. In today's video, I want to explore Roosevelt Island and why it could be the perfect place to loot, find refuge, kill hunters and extract. If you enjoyed this one, please hit the like button, and let's try hit 200 likes, that would be awesome. With that said, let's get into the video. This is the first time we knew Roosevelt Island was going to be a location, and it actually came as a surprise to me because we know the Division 2 takes place in Washington DC, some 4 hours or more away if you travelled by car. By boat, I'm sure it's a lot quicker, but still, that's some considerable distance away from the main location in the Division 2, and it feels like the place of somewhat significant, like survival for example. Roosevelt Island is interesting for a couple of reasons. First off, Renwick Ruins. Renwick Ruins was a smallpox hospital built in 1856, but fell into disrepair some 100 years later. At the height of the smallpox outbreak, this 100-bed building had more than 13,000 people die there. What's significant about this smallpox hospital is exactly what's in its name: smallpox. Of course, this is what the outbreak of the virus was in the Division, and I don't think it's a coincidence that Roosevelt Island has been selected for the Division 2, and this building would really tie into the lore of the game. Can you imagine going into this building to retrieve supplies like medkits, bandages, medicine, all with the Division's touch of immersion and detail? To me, this sounds like the perfect place to go in survival for that. Next we have the Octagon Tower. This building was formerly an insane asylum back in the 1830s and housed some of the most mentally disturbed and challenging humans there is. This asylum became known for its underfunding and overcrowding, for the staff's neglect and the inmates' terrible living conditions. Many inmates died in the asylum from diseases like typhus and cholera. The Octagon Tower was nearly destroyed by 2 fires until it was renovated and turned into residential buildings pretty recently for that. Firstly, very much like Renwick Ruins, how amazing would it feel to navigate around a derelict, insane asylum in need of supplies with that Division touch? The thought of it not only kind of scares me, but it kind of makes me really want this in survival for the Division 2. I said before that many inmates, I should say patients out of respect for those with mental illnesses, so my apologies, many patients died of cholera and typhus, both of which can be contracted via contaminated water. Julian explained during his Ubisoft presentation that areas become flooded and abandoned. What if, to access the Octagon Tower, you had to find a way to pump the water out so you could rummage around for supplies without the possibility of contracting one of these harmful viruses? Just an idea I'm going to throw out there. Now, the Octagon Tower looks and sounds like another awesome landmark to visit on Roosevelt Island, but I think it would add so much to survival in the Division 2. Now, what survival-based location on an island would not be complete without a lighthouse? Thankfully, Roosevelt Island has a 50-foot stone lighthouse built in 1872 and was actually built by the patients from the Octagon Tower, if you believe the legends. The purpose of the lighthouse, like all lighthouses, was to help navigate the ships through the waters so as to avoid the rocks. How awesome would it be to have crashed boats and life rafts scattered near the lighthouse filled with supplies, because I imagine when the virus hit, the lighthouse failed to be manned, meaning boats, possibly there to provide aid, would have not seen the rocks. Again, it's just an idea. A lighthouse is really iconic of thriller-type survival movies, and the film that springs to mind for me is Shutter Island, one of the best films ever made, at least in my opinion. Okay, so these are just 3 locations on Roosevelt Island that would create an awesome survival atmosphere, and there are more, like the Strecker Memorial Laboratory, which was built to conduct pathological and bacteriological work. Again, the perfect location for survival mode and would fit perfectly with the Division lore and the virus outbreak. All of these make for the perfect atmosphere to have a survival mode, and I have mentioned this is the Roosevelt Island. It's an island, cut off from the mainland, and Julian Garrity confirmed this was the perfect place for a quarantine. So what better area than this to be dropped in and survive? Instead of having a helicopter crash, for example, maybe you could have been on a rescue mission or a mission to get something valuable for the mainland, and something happens en route, causing you to end up on the island with nothing. Your task? To survive and find an extraction. Maybe a boat rescue this time instead of a helicopter, I don't know. What do you think in the comments below? We know that survival will have to be different from the Division, and I haven't given a lot of thought into what we could get or what I would like to see, so let me know what you'd like below. Agents, this video could have been 30 minutes plus if I really wanted to go in depth on all of the things this island could offer for a survival mode, but I think you get the idea. Of course, at this point, the devs have not confirmed survival will be coming in the Division 2, but I am pretty sure it will be, and my suspicion is Roosevelt Island as the location. If you can think of another location that might be better, please leave it in the comments. There you go, agents. I hope you enjoyed this video. It did take me a lot longer than most videos I do because I want to focus on quality over quantity at the request of you agents. So please show your support in the comments and by liking the video. Subscribe if you're new and enjoyed Division and Division 2 content. With all that said, thanks for all your continued support, and until the next one, Epic out.